How do you take on this story? What was the process of writing this script and finding these details?
It was, you know, I think we live in these strange times right now where all of us are walking around going, what the heck is going on? And of late, I just feel like, well, what a great way to discover what the heck is going on than through movie. What better way than through a movie? So, you know, I was reading about Dick Cheney. I knew he had a huge influence on the world, and I kept reading and going, wait a minute. He had more than a huge influence. He did this, he did this. And then also what it said about us that this guy was able to assume this power in plain sight. And then I just started wondering, who is this guy? And once you get Christian Bale in there, and then eventually Amy Adams, the whole thing really became a mystery, like a detective novel for us. And we just had an amazing time just digging into this crazy, nebulous, shadowy figure that is Dick Cheney.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, Christian Bale, you do not look at Christian Bale and think, yeah, Dick Cheney. How did you envision him? How did you know?
Well, I've learned you don't look at Christian Bale and think he doesn't look like anyone. I mean, he'll get there. He'll get there. And I just, you know, ultimately when I make movies, I'm a film fan. I'm still the guy who's buying the tickets, who's going to sit in the theater. And I just knew if someone told me Christian Bale is playing Dick Cheney, I'm seeing that movie. And that's the guy I want to see interpreted. And then when we discovered that Lynn Cheney was just as much a part of this story of power as he was, Amy Adams, I'm there. And so that's really what got the Christian going, and then Amy was just like, these are the actors I want to see interpreted, and I know there's no physical boundary that will stop them.
What surprised me, for sure, was it was funny. Why approach a story like this and not just take a complete dramatic turn? And
sure.
Why go for the humor? I know that's where you come from, but what was that appeal?
You know, I don't know if you agree or not, but I think we live in these strange times that hover between the ridiculous and the tragic.
Yeah.
And if you look, you see like comedy's changing. I mean, what are we laughing at when the President of the United States is standing amidst a burnt forest saying we have to rake the forest more? Is that funny or should you cry? And so we really wanted that feeling with this turn that America took is both absurd and ridiculous and heartbreaking and tragic. So whenever it came to the tragic parts, we treated that with a lot of reverence. But when it was the ridiculous parts, we let them be ridiculous. And with our audiences nowadays, they can handle that. They understand that life is multifaceted and life doesn't operate in one genre.
Well, there's a thing about this, and you delve into things that I don't think we knew. And how did you find this stuff?
It's all out there. You just have to sit in your office for 10 hours a day for 5 months and just read it and ask questions. And at one point we hired a journalist who went around and interviewed people from the Cheney world off the record, and we just kept digging and digging and digging, and we easily could have done a 5-hour movie. I mean, it's a gigantic, epic story. So, I mean, the toughest thing about it was, what do you not put in? That really became the hardest.
What do you say? I want you to be my VP. The vice presidency is mostly a symbolic job. However, if we were to come to a different understanding, I can handle mundane jobs like overseeing military, energy, foreign policy. I like that.
This isn't something that a vice president really does, is it?
It is now.
Christmas Day.